I just went to the funeral of a 91-year-old, and I have to tell you the biggest takeaway for me as an intuitive eater. This was one of my 4 mothers. I've talked about this. I had 4 mothers in my life: mother, stepmother, mother-in-law, stepmother-in-law, all big-time dieters. Really influenced me in a not a good way. And this is my mother-in-law, and she was 91 years old as recently as 18 months ago. And she had a neurological problem at the end. So in her last fully cognizant, fully capable moments of her life, she was trying to lose weight. So she would have been 90 or 89 at that point. A primary concern of hers was losing weight. This is a sadness that I don't want anyone watching this video to underestimate or to not be afraid of. You should be afraid of this. This is not a good way to live with a diet mentality. And in her head, and it was in my head for a very long time, if you don't have a diet mentality, you're going to get heavier. It's going to get worse. And she could have lost a few pounds in her head, but in her head, this was the way out of being overweight. And it's the opposite of that. It is the way to stay in that trap, that mindset of good food, bad food, on a diet, off a diet, that destroys your relationship with food and eating. It destroyed her relationship with food and eating. And I remember when I first met my husband, going into her kitchen in her house and seeing a picture on her refrigerator of a really, really obese naked woman on her refrigerator. She put that on her refrigerator so that she wouldn't eat. And I remember I was 22 at the time, just sinking in my heart, like, wow, that she really cares about that. What am I going to do? I better be thin so she approves of me and all that stuff, which thankfully that fell away from me over time when I turned 40 and became an intuitive eater and realized that all the women in my life who I tried to look up to, none of them had this right, except for my one little grandmother, who I followed to become an intuitive eater. And I'm sad for my mother-in-law that I wasn't able to reach. She knew kind of what I preached, but she couldn't embrace it. There was too much garbage in her head over a lifetime of dieting to accept that she thought very negative things about herself. Oh, I eat too much, I'm this, I'm that. I used to think that too. And that's how the diet industry survives, because we think very negatively about ourselves. And really quickly, I want to share some other little thing, because I think when you first become an intuitive eater and you have a day where you think that you ate inappropriately, and certainly that's going to happen, I just want to share with you that happens, and it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. The other night, I don't know why, it was somehow in the midst of this funeral and everything, what I ate for dinner was these Cheetos that I like, an ice cream bar, and something else junky. I forget what it was now. I ate a bunch of junk. Oh, cookies. These old cookies. That's what I ate for dinner. Now, I'm not saying to go eat that. I'm saying there's no big deal. I was hungry, and that's what I craved. For whatever reason, maybe that was comforting to me. I don't know. I don't care. I trust my body now. And so when you are in that initial stages of becoming an intuitive eater, do not let a meal or an eating episode like that freak you out. Don't let that happen. It didn't freak me out. I'm only saying it because I'm very aware now, of what I can talk about here with you guys to help. And maybe sweets comfort me. Again, I don't know. But if you're hungry, and I was hungry, it doesn't matter. So if you have an episode while you're trying to become an intuitive eater and you look at that plate of food that you ate, or you go, oh God, this is not for me. Look what I just did. Yeah, look what you just did. You responded to a craving. It's okay. And nutrition doesn't happen one meal at a time. And it happens over time. So there's nothing that hurt me from that. And I also want to say, with regards to this, that people always blame the food for everything that's wrong with us. And I'm not saying our food sources couldn't be better. But in terms of, body size, it's the quantity. You can eat a bunch of crap. You can eat terrible nutrition. And that's not a good thing. But you can eat and not be heavier than you want to be. I'm so careful. I don't want to make anyone feel like they need to lose weight. I really don't. But if you're in that mode where you're either going to go on a diet or you're going to become an intuitive eater to understand how weight loss happens permanently, yeah, I want you to understand this. I don't want you to be like my mother-in-law, who lived her entire life upset about her body. And she was beautiful, and she was upset about her body, constantly self-deprecating and excuse me, and feeling bad about it. And now she's gone, and she never got it. And I'm so glad that didn't happen to me. I'm so glad I had someone in my life, my little grandmother, who ate like an intuitive eater. And she didn't even know that her generation was more like that. She was born in 1900. So if you need a little kick, you're not going to conquer your diet mentality unless you actively replace it. It's too powerful. Actively replace it with intuitive eating principles and connect with the beauty of eating. It's beautiful. And of loving your body, imperfections included, loving yourself. Because when you have a screwed up relationship with food and eating, you feel bad about yourself. Don't do that, okay? Don't do that.